What's up everyone, it's KK. Today we're going to talk about how to play solo in Contractors Showdown Exfil Zone. Now this game is completely different than other games, like Tabor. So we're going to talk about all the little nitty gritty things that you need to pay attention to and get down packed so you can survive in all these raids. Alright, first things first here, we're going to be talking about what we're bringing into the raid because that's the most important thing here, alright? So taking off my vest here, don't worry about the quality of my items, let's more look about the configuration here. Now off rip, I have a pouch here for my grenade. I have a stim that's always up in the front of my pouch because when you're on the move and you're getting shot, you don't want to be grabbing for your bag to heal yourself. You want to make sure it's right here in front of you so it's easy to go ahead and heal yourself up. I have an extra mag in the front, and then I have the grenade pouch here that holds 3 stacks of bullets. I use this just so I can easily pack a mag if I'm shooting a scav mid-raid, and then this is like an emergency mag to boom boom swip quickly if I'm low on a mag and a player just happens to pop up. Alright, so don't worry about the tier of this armor, it's more so just this configuration is going to help you, but mainly just know you need grenades, you need to have these nades, and you need to have this med on this front pouch. It's so crucial here. Alright, let's talk about my backpack. I have extra stacks of bullets here to replenish my pouch when I need to, and extra nade to replenish. I always say bring in at least 2 nades per raid. That's just like a good judgment base. And then we have water, liquid, and then some food. Anything for food and water. Now one thing you always want to make sure is that you're eating every single food and water throughout the raid at all times. You always want to be eating all the food and water you can find. This is like emergency, when you're bringing into the raid, you want to think of that as like your emergency backup food and water, right? Then of course you have your stapler here. If you do not have any of these stems, of course you're going to have a heavy bleed here, and you're just going to be using a regular stem or a bandage here and a regular stem. And then of course we have our micro device, and then with that you should pretty much be set. Of course we have our helmet here, your helmet of choice. When it comes to your weapon, I do have a video going over the metal weapon loadout, but of course if you just have a red dot under there, you're fine to play solo. The next thing we're going to talk about here is questing. Now when it comes to questing, you have to get your traders leveled up. You're never going to get all this gear and all this armor and be able to use it every raid unless you level up your traders. Now it may be hard for some people, but the best way to do it is to hover around these areas before you run in. Right here is camp, one of a very known quest area. Very early game, you need those intel items. Now what you want to do is always hover around these areas before you get in. You're going to catch those players that are just dipping in there, and you can watch the flow of traffic here. Maybe you don't have to kill them, maybe you can wait for them to run in, run out, and then you run in. If you have a good scope, maybe you can take them out, but just play it smart first. Never be the first one to hit these quest areas unless you have like the absolute god spawn, you're the first person there. Then okay, go ahead, because it's going to be clear off spawn. But other than that, if you're traveling a distance, always hover. It doesn't matter what area it is. If it's in the mall, if it's here, anywhere, you always do a hover tactic. You always watch over the area, make sure it's clear before you go in. That will save you so much time, I promise you. So say you have a gun here and you only have a red dot, and a player is shooting you from a long distance. Say they're up this hill somewhere. One thing you have to learn to do is if someone is at a distance and you're not capable of fighting long range, let them come to you. Don't ever force a long range fight, alright? You could easily get one-tapped in this game from a lucky bullet. You always want to make sure you're close range if that's what you have available with your gun, alright? So if I only have my laser and they're shooting at me long range, I'm going to sit here and I'm not going to show myself. They'll show themselves when they can. Use that raid timer to your advantage. Relax, sit here, let them expose themselves, and listen for audio. That's the biggest tip I can say when it comes to PvP. Audio is going to be your friend. Make sure when you're hearing players around, you stand completely still, you stop. Oh, and now I hear an audio cue. Now I can go and say, oh, I heard him. Now I know he's here. Boom, 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 and he's done. So always pay attention to your surroundings, and if you're too far away, do not be afraid to hold your position and wait for them to get closer unless you can find a way to closing that gap between you and the player. So let's talk about grenades. Grenades are going to be your #1 friend in this game. They will get you out of situations you would have thought you have never been able to survive. Now I'm telling you, When you're having nades on you, always keep them on your front pouch. It says the most accessible, it's the best way to use them. Nades are going to be one of those things you use off of instinct. It's going to be very quick uses. You're not going to be, trying to hold it out and judge the nade. It's going to be a situation to where you see a player right here as you're coming down the hill, and then maybe, boom, 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 you exchange some shots, they run away. As soon as they run away, you're already holding this nade and getting ready to pull it and throw it around that corner there. All right, so say you have a nade here, right? You're in a situation, there's a player down here, boom, boom, boom. You put quick shots out, grenade, you automatically chuck. Automatically every time. Quick encounters. If you don't get the full kill initially, you're always gonna pull that nade as a follow-up every time. If you shoot them, boom, they run around the corner first, you pull a nade out. You shoot them, you get a little bit of tags on them, they're still out of sight, boom, you nade directly. You always follow up nade after an engagement where you don't finish off the kill. Every time you want to throw that follow-up nade, it's going to help you so much, especially in Contractors with the guiding system for your nade. It's so much easier to just pull this and have a good judgment of where it's going to go at. So it's just okay, so I know what you're saying. He forgot. No, I didn't forget. We're going to talk about painkillers. Now, painkillers are insanely good to use, and it's not just something you use after you get shot when you get into a fight or to stop yourself from coughing or the black effect on your screen. Painkillers need to be used before you get into the fight. You use painkillers to stop yourself from getting shot in the legs, and now you're moving slow, you can't run, you're out in the middle open with no cover. You pop painkillers before if you hear shots in a direction as you're charging over, just in case you get third party on your way there. All right, it's going to help you sustain the fight, help you stay on the move and active, and you're not going to have all those effects going over your screen that's going to stop you from getting the kill and securing that. So make sure you always bring some painkillers. But that's going to be it. If you incorporate all these tips into your gameplay, I promise you will get a lot better. Now, I'm not done with these guides, so we'll go more in depth, showing you more things like how to hold angles, different peaks, and just ways to make sure you're taking advantage of everything in the map. All right, so if you like this video anyway, hit the like button, hit the comment section if you have any questions, any tips for anybody else out there, hit the subscribe button if you want to see any more content, and I'll catch you guys later.